What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back finally with the NFL DFS contenders for Thursday Night Football. It's the Los Angeles Rams, it's the Buffalo Bills. Now hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Those three things I'm going to need you to do pretty regularly over the next, 18 NFL weeks. I would also like you guys to head on over to Twitter and follow me at Josh Engleman. Only place you're going to get any updates to these sim results, I'll be posting them to Twitter if anything interesting happens at the very least, if I've got any big changes. Expect some activity on Twitter. Anyway, do both of those things, then hop into the description of this video, click the link for Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of this show. If you do that and you sign up at Prize Picks, you'll get up to $100 on your first deposit. Now, you don't need an optimizer. We're talking player props here, over-unders. So make that deposit. Now, if you only have 25 bucks, let's say you get $20. They will match with 20 bucks. If you can get 100 on, I hope that you do that. You really want to take advantage of these deals as much as you possibly can. Take the free money when it's presented to you. Use the link in the description. Take advantage of the Prize Picks promo right now. Without further ado, we are on to the contenders. At number 10, Matt Gay. We've also got Tyler Bass, Devin Singletary, Allen Robinson, and Tyler HIGBEE on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. In first at number 5, we've got Stefon Diggs. He is $14K. I got him projected for 15 fantasy points. The Bills are 2.5 favorites here, 2.5 point favorites here. It is a 52-point total. I've got Diggs scoring north of 30 fantasy points, a little over 15% of the time. Under 10 fantasy points, however, 48% of the time. A lot of boom busts here with Diggs at this price tag. 10% likelihood that he is your optimal MVP. 26% likelihood that he's optimal at the utility or flex spot. I can never remember which one's which. Same situation. You guys know the drill at this point. I think Diggs looks pretty similar to his current ownership projections. I don't have a lean much either way. He's a top 5 player today. You're going to get to him pretty frequently, but I don't have any sort of big time stand that I need to take on Diggs. I do, however, want to take a bit of a stand on Gabe Davis, 11,500. And while it seems like he's a similar version to Diggs, they're both in the optimal 36% of the time. It's sort of about the way that they get there. Projected for 11 fantasy points. We already know they're the favorites in a 52-point line. 6% chance to go for north of 30. You're not expecting this crazy monster game out of Davis. 6% likelihood to be your optimal MVP. Not totally likely, but you wouldn't be surprised to see something like that happen once a season. 31% likelihood, however, to be optimal in the utility spot. That is where I like him a lot, because if you're trying to go to Josh Allen, it's going to be a lot easier to pair him with Gabe Davis because he's just simply cheaper and easier to fit around. You're going to build stronger aggregate lineups with Davis over Diggs. Diggs has the higher ceiling for sure, but Gabe Davis probably makes your lineup work a little bit better. Ultimately, whether it's Diggs or Davis, they're both in the optimal lineup 36% of the time. In at number 3, we go to KUPP, $16K, just a monster price tag for a non-quarterback, actually $500 ahead of Matt Stafford. 17 fantasy point projection, opposite side of this one, so slight underdogs, but this one should be very competitive and we're expecting a lot of offense. 26% likelihood to go for north of 30, 30% likelihood though to go under 10. This is where things get interesting with KUPP because he's just as good in the MVP spot as he is in the utility. 18% likelihood to go into the MVP spot in the optimal, 19% at utility. I'm always happy to get to someone like KUPP, but at the same time, 16K is no joke. That really changes the way that your lineup looks. If you're taking him, let's say, in the MVP spot, which I think might be a pretty good thing to do, you're going to have some trouble filling out the rest of your lineup. You're probably going to have a little bit of an issue getting Stafford and Allen and getting any other legitimate talent out there. But for now, I see him as the number 3 guy. He could just as easily be 6th. Pay close attention to that. The separation in optimal odds between KUPP at 3 and HIGBEE at 6 is just 2 percentage points. If I take, 2/10 of a fantasy point away from KUPP, he's probably in at number 6 and outside of my top 5, which I understand probably sounds outlandish, but price matters here. Ownership matters here. You need to be able to use both of those things to your advantage. And for right now, because of Cooper Kupp's price, I think he's only in the optimal lineup a third of the time. Now we take a little bit of a step up in tier here for Matt Stafford at number 2, 15,500, projected for 18.5 fantasy points, goes north of 30, 18% of the time, goes under 10, 10% of the time, 15% likelihood to be your optimal MVP, plus another 32% at the utility spot. He's just easier to roster than Cooper Kupp, and it's like everything that Cooper Kupp does is going to come from Stafford, but Stafford could also just get to other guys, and the fact that he's $500 cheaper just makes him a little bit easier to work in the lineups. That's why you see a giant gap in the odds of utility between Kupp and Stafford. 1, you save $500. 2, Stafford just simply projects better than Kupp. So for now, Stafford just shy of the coin flip, 47% likelihood to be in the optimal. I'm gonna assume that you guys know very obviously who is number 1. But before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder: like, subscribe, notification bell, all of that stuff. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and let me know in the comment section what you like for today. And be ready, these videos are coming every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday for all of the primetime games. You're gonna get the best of FanDuel and DraftKings, which is also around here somewhere. You're going to get it all every week. 6 total videos plus another set for the main slate. And finally, we close it out. Number 1 contender, Josh Allen, 17,500, but well worth that price tag, although it is incredibly high. Projected for 24.2 fantasy points. He's 55% likely to go for north of 30, so more than a coin flip there. 39% chance to be your optimal MVP, far and away your number 1 rate. 26% even at the utility, which is kind of crazy given his salary. You need a very specific, that's going to be a weird day if it happens. I'm going to be honest with you. But still, he is in the optimal lineup more than anybody else on this slate, and that makes sense. And it's basically the same aggregate ownership. I like him a little bit more in the MVP spot than the public does. I like him a little bit less in the utility spot than the public does. That tends to be my MO when I'm playing these single game slates on FanDuel. But the easiest thing I can tell you is this: 65% of the time, 2/3 of the time that we play this slate, Josh Allen is in your optimal lineup, and that is why he is your number 1 contender for today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NFL DFS contenders on FanDuel for the Rams and the Bills. Make sure you're catching all of the content that we have at Stokastic.com, all of the content that we have on our YouTube channel, including the deeper dive and live before lock. 2 hours of shows coming up tonight, breaking this one down. Good luck to everyone. I will see you guys again Sunday morning.